Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Board Game Captain.
I'm Lynn.
And today we're going to be reviewing and talking about and showing you how to play Shifting Realms, which is a game by Craig Van Ness and Jeff Van Ness, and published by Soaring Rhino. So first, I want to give a big thank you to Soaring Rhino for giving me this free copy to review and play and have fun with of their game, Shifting Realms. So this is a game about you each being wizards and organizing your warriors and scouts to be able to fix the broken realms, bring them all back together. And if you're the one who does it the best, you're going to rule over the realms afterwards, essentially. The game's a bit more abstract than that. They could have,
Yeah, it's worker placement.
It's adventuring, worker placement. It's got a bunch of different things going on, but the theme doesn't seem super attached to the actual game to me. But so the game is listed as ages 10 and up, 2 to 4 players, and 60 minutes. So I want to say that I'm pretty okay with all of those stats. I mean, what do you think of the 10 and up?
I think that's fine.
Yes, pretty dead on. That's where I would recommend this game at. The 2 to 4 players, it has a slight difference for 2 players. I'll talk about that in the during the review portion, but I think it plays just as well, in my opinion, at 2 players as it does at larger player counts.
Yeah, I prefer it at 2 players.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's less aggro at 2.
Yeah.
And then the 60 minutes is pretty good. Maybe a little longer sometimes, depending on which tiles come up, but
yeah. Some of them are harder to get their end game stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, these are pretty accurate, which is surprising. Often I have issues with some of the statistics on the back of the box. So let's have a look at what we have. So we've got the rule book. Now the rule book is very quick to go through. It is a total of only really 8 pages. There are rules on the back, so that is the 8th page on the back there. And for the most part, it's pretty good. There was only one real ambiguity I had an issue with, but it was something we were able to figure out at least how it made sense to us, so it's not that bad. I would say this is above average in rulebooks for me. Next, we have a score tracker, which, very fun, fits together like puzzle pieces and then goes next to the board. Functional. I mean, it's cardboard, it's thick, it feels nice. It's got white, but it's kind of like got this interesting.
It looks like rock, like quarry, like quarry rock.
Yeah, like quarry rock on it. Otherwise, it's just got the point numbers on it, so it's functional. Then we've got the actual realms, which the realms I like that they are all the same on the back, and this is very useful for shuffling them up to choose your random realms, because there are 5 realms, but you pick 3 of them for every game, and they're all a little bit different. I like how they made the squares on them where they're not actually squares, but they have kind of like corners. So without it just being a square, without putting squares over it, you clearly can see where each of the spaces are. And that's kind of cool. I appreciate the functionality of them. I would say they look pretty nice in regard to the artwork on them. Not amazing, but nice. Definitely nice.
They're functional.
They're functional. Now the next thing we've got some really lovely meeples. So we've got wooden cylinders, which are for the scouts, which are nice. I mean, they're a little on the small side, but they're nice and they're functional. And but the plastic meeples in this are really good. I really like these. They're different for each player, which is pretty freaking cool. You're going to see more of those out when we're playing. We have wooden cubes and wooden discs of 4 different colors for the 4 resources. If you've seen wooden cubes and wooden discs as resources, you've seen them all. There's a big plastic dragon, and we're going to be playing a tutorial using the Dwarf Realm, which has the dragon in it. This guy is really cool. I'm a fan of this miniature. I like the way he looks.
I'm showing me his butt.
Oh, here's his face. I'm kind of sad that he doesn't come up every game just because of how cool he is. Like, because he's actually one of the nicest components in here. And then we have cards and tiles. Now, the tiles are for buildings, and actually, I think the artwork on the tiles is quite nice. I think it's actually generally better than most of the spaces on the board, which is really cool. I'm going to show a few of these to show you some of the artwork on the tiles here. And then we have the cards, which the artwork on the cards is very good. I think production-wise, the place it shines the best is the artwork in the story cards. Oh, those guys on the cover are the priest guys. Oh, we were just trying to figure out that guy. We're like, that guy on the cover, who's he supposed to be? And then we played the priest realm last time, but I guess we didn't notice.
Never came up.
Yeah, but they the priests are wearing that revolutionary garb that's on the cover.
Okay. That still doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I don't know why they're wearing revolutionary garb. It is a little odd. There's also guys in the orc realms that are wearing that kind of revolutionary guard, the tricorn hats and such too. But yeah, the artwork on the cards is gorgeous. I really like the artwork that they have on there. We'll show some more during our tutorial. You'll see some more cards. Here's a dragon. I love the dragon artwork. Okay, so that's basically it. That's the components. So now we're going to head to the table, and we're going to show you how to play this game. We'll run you through a few turns, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, so here we are set up for a two-player game of Shifting Realms. So the first thing we did was we shuffled up all of the round boards, and on the backs they have the nice Shifting Realms logo there, so they all look the same. We shuffled them up and drew 3 random realms for this particular game. There are 5 total realms in the box. Now the realms we have are Libertatia, which is a pirate realm. Tierfing, which is a dwarf realm that also has a dragon flying around, and Alfheim, which is the elf realm over there on Lynn's side. Would you point that? Thank you. Now, then, after we get our 3 boards set up, we get the appropriate story card decks for each of the realms shuffled and placed above them. We get the appropriate 3 structures that can be built in each of the realms and separate them into stacks above each of them so that you can see their cost in their top left corner each. We have all of the resources set out, and we each get 5 gold to start with. We collect all of our soldier meeples as well as all of our scout tokens. We place 1 scout token each on the 0 point spot over here at the bottom of the point track, and we each place 1 scout and 1 soldier on each of the town halls in the 3 different realms. The final part of the setup is that we shuffle the decks of the task cards from the 3 realms that we have randomly chosen, and we each get 1 task card. These are hidden goals. I'm going to show you one to the camera here, but not showing Lynn, so she doesn't know what I have here. And they will gain you bonus victory points at the end of the game if you have met certain requirements. The first thing you're going to do in the game is you're going to bid for turn order. So in a 2-player game, we have only 2, of course, either first or second, 2 different turn orders to bid for. Going second lets you get 1 free gold. So what you do is you gather up all your starting gold in one hand and you hide it, and you're going to take a number of gold based on how much you want to bid into your other hand, and we're gonna put our hand out over the board to see how much we're bidding. I bid 1, Lynn bid none, which means Lynn gets second place. I will be going first, and Lynn gets a free gold for going second. So she's going to wind up with 2 more gold than I have starting out. Now, the turn order cards are really cool because when you flip them over, they have a cheat sheet on the other side, which is very handy and very useful. Now, we are ready to start playing, and I'm going to be going first. So on your turn, you can perform 3 actions. They can be multiples of the different actions, and you can then collect resources. So the possible actions you can do is you can recruit units, you can move, and you can build a structure, or you can draw a story card. And the story card is the one place where you're not allowed to do it 3 times. You can at the most draw 2 story cards on any particular turn. So as we do each of these actions, I'm going to explain to you how they work so we don't bog you down with all the rules in the beginning here. And then after you do all 3 of your actions, you're going to gain resources based on if you have scouts in the particular empty spots on these various resource spaces, or if you have built structures that could let you gain resources. One other thing that you can do during your turn is you can attack another player. That does not require an action, but it requires you to have some soldiers in a space that has either your opponent's soldiers or your opponent's scouts. If that does not happen, because in a 2-player game it's actually fairly discourages combat, if it doesn't happen, I will explain how combat works at the end of this tutorial. Alright, so I'm going to get started with my first turn. And again, I have 3 actions with which to use on my very first turn here. So for my first action, I am going to do a recruit action. I would like to recruit units. So I'm going to recruit 2 scouts. Now when you recruit, it costs you 1 gold. So you spend 1 gold, put it in the supply. And you can take 2 units of any type, could be 2 soldiers, 2 scouts, or 1 of each, up to you. And you can place them on any town halls, or you can place them on any structures you've already built on the board. So in this case, obviously, I'm placing 2 scouts in Libertatia here, because I need to get some stuff, obviously, over here. Now, that was my first action. For my second action, I'm going to do a movement action. For a movement action, you pick 1 space. I'm going to pick this town hall space. And you can move any number of units from this space to any other space up to 3 spaces away, not counting diagonals. So you count orthogonally. So you can go like 1, 2, 3, for instance, because this is where I'm going. And I'm going to place them all in this forest here. Now, I cannot place my scouts immediately on these worker spots. They will automatically go there at the beginning of my next turn, as long as they are still there, as long as Lynn has not come over and attacked them on me. So that is my second action, because my first action, again, was to do the recruit. And as my third action, I want to draw a story card from Tierfing. Now, when you draw a story card, it costs you an action. It does not cost you an action to play it, and it tells you on the card whether it has to be played now, whether it has to be played later, meaning a later turn, whether it's something you save for the end of the game, or if it's something that you can either play now or later. Now, in this case, it is a now card, and I have to immediately move the dragon 4 spaces, up to 4 spaces. Now, this is kind of a lousy first draw. It does get me 1 victory point, which is cool, so I'm going to give myself 1 victory point on the victory point track over here. But the thing is, the dragon cannot attack units in the towns. So the only thing moving the dragon is going to help me do is block a space from anyone going in there or building on it. So it's kind of a little not very good right now. So I'm gonna go. Let's see. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna block that quarry space. So now he's blocking that quarry space. No one can go in there and no one can build on there. But if there were guys outside of the towns, because the towns, like I said, are a safe haven, you can't attack other people in the towns, and dragons cannot attack you in the town. But if there were guys outside of the town, I could have, every space I flew on, I would have killed 1 guy in that space of my choice. So that's how that would have happened if that had been a card I had drawn later on. But anyway, that's it. That is it for my drawing. I do not get any resources for this turn during the resource step because I don't yet have anybody on collection spaces. So I am done, and now it is Lynn's turn.
Okay, my first action, I'm going to draw a story card from Elfheim.
Oh.
Okay, it's a later one.
Oh, saving it, huh?
Then I am going to recruit. I'm going to recruit over here.
2 scouts?
Yes. And then I'm going to move for my last action.
Placing them all on that wood space, I see.
Yes.
So you all finished?
Yes.
Okay. So at the beginning of my turn, all of the 3 scouts I placed on this wood space are going to immediately go into the resource spots for it, which is very important. Obviously, I'm trying to collect some wood here. At which point I'm now going to do my 3 actions. So my first action I'd like to do is I'm going to do a recruit, and I'm going to recruit 2 scouts. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to place them, because I want to get them with at least 1 soldier to protect some of the scouts. I'm going to place those scouts over here in Tierfing.
You have to pay for them.
And I'm going to pay the 1 gold to the bank. Thanks for reminding me. And then for my second action, I'm going to move. I know this is seeming very similar to things I have already done. It's because it is. It is very similar to some things I've already done. I'm going to go 1, 2 onto the quarry space. There we go. And I'm going to hang out there. That was my second action. And for my third action, I'm going to do 1 more recruit, 2 more scouts, again onto... Actually, I'm going to put them into Libertatia.
My turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to put my scouts on these spaces over here.
Very good. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I didn't collect. I actually get to collect wood at the end of my turn. So I almost forgot. So I got 3 scouts on those spots, just like Lynn is putting them on. That's what reminded me. So I get to collect 3 wood for those spots. Continue. I'm sorry about that.
And then I'm going to recruit 2 scouts over here. It's my first action.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use my story card.
Okay.
It says gain 1 magic and gain 1 extra action this turn.
Oh, very nice. Look at you. So was that only... How many actions did you actually do?
I only used 1.
So you've still got 3 then.
I'm going to...
Nice story card.
I'm going to move these guys over here.
Okay.
That's 2, but I get 2 more.
You got 2 more.
I don't know what to do. I have an extra action.
Well, at the very least, you could always do a recruit and get some more guys for next turn.
Yeah. I'm going to... I'm going to recruit 2 more scouts over here. And then I'm going to... My last action, my extra action is going to be another story card.
Okay.
And I'm going to, it says it's a now or later event, so I'm going to do it now. I get to place 2 of my scouts on any space where I have at least 1 scout. So I'm going to take 2 of my scouts, and...
You have 1 scout over here if you
Yeah,
want
I'm
to.
going to place them there.
Okay.
What I do is I get 3 wood now.
Oh, okay. Yes, don't forget that. I got confused. Okay, so my turn. I'm going to get... I have placed...
You need to put your
yes,
dudes.
I have to get my guys on the resource spaces there. I'm then, for my first action, I'm going to do a recruit. I'm going to pay 1 gold, and I'm going to get a soldier, a warrior, and another scout. For my second action, I'm going to move them onto a coin spot. Assuming, well, they can't take the spot yet, but onto this gold mine. I'm going to move them onto this gold mine here. For my third action, I'm going to take a Libertatia card. Let me see what we've got here. And it's one I have to save for later, so I'm going to put it face down. And now I am getting 3 wood for my scouts on the forest there, and 3 stone for my... Would you pass me 3 stone, please? For my 3 scouts on this quarry. So there we go. Get me plenty of resources. And now I am all finished, and your turn.
Okay, I'm going to move my 3 scouts onto the magic.
Very good. Magic is very nice. The cool thing about magic is, in addition to being able to be used to pay for costs, anytime during your turn you can turn in 3 magic for 1 resource of any other type. So it lets you buy. It's the only way, usually, to buy other resources.
My first action is going to be move. Can you move me onto the gold mine, please?
You got it. You are on the gold mine.
My second action is I am going to build the Elven Wharf.
Ooh, you got the money for it, huh?
1 gold and 3 wood.
Oh, it wasn't that expensive, actually.
No, it's 1 victory point.
Okay, I will give you your victory point.
I'm going to build it over here.
Okay. You got to face it towards the outside of the board. There you go. No.
Oh.
There you go.
And I have to take one of my dudes and put it over here.
Now, you can take a dude from off the board that you're not using. It doesn't have to be a guy who's already on the board, then.
Okay.
Okay, so you place 1 scout on there to show ownership. Now, is that one that gives you...
It gives me 1 wood and 1 stone every turn.
Which, that's pretty amazing. That's a really cool building. Well done. Well done.
So that was my second action. My third action, I'm going to take a card from over here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I have to move the dragon up to 4 spaces, and I gain 1 victory point.
Oh boy. All right, so I'll give you your victory point. You're now in the lead on victory points, though we're both pretty low at the moment. Where's the dragon going? I have a guess.
1, 2, 3,
3.
4.
Okay, and who dies? Are you killing my soldier, or are you killing...
the soldier.
Oh, so you're making them undefended. I see where that's going. Oof. Okay, well then I'm really glad I drew this card before. So on... is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, I have to get my...
Oh, get your resources. Yes, don't forget.
I get 3 wood from my forest, 3 magic from my magic thing, and then a stone and a wood from my wharf.
Yes, that wharf is very amazing. Okay, so I'm going to play my card I drew last turn at the beginning of my turn. Well, first, before I forget, of course, I'm going to move my scouts onto their worker spots so that they are working the mine over here. Do I have any other scouts that are not on their spots yet? I don't.
No.
Okay, so I have drawn a impressment card, which allows me to do a recruit once this turn without paying an action or gold. So for free, I get to do recruitment. I'm going to recruit a pair of soldiers. I'm sensing something coming over here, so I figured they might be necessary to protect my quarry that you apparently are after. So I'm going to, for my first action, for my first actual action, because the card did not cost an action to do, I'm going to buy a pirate ship. So it costs 4 wood. So I'm going to put 4 wood over here, and it has to be placed on a water space, just like that wharf that Lynn just made. And I will place it here. And now, actually, you know what? No, I can place it there. That's fine. I'm going to place it there. I put one of my scouts from off the board on it to show ownership, that I control it. And I can, once, anytime on my turn, if I have a warrior on there, I can lay them down to do a pirate raid, which will give me 2 gold, 2 points, and and allow me to draw 1 story card from anywhere on the any of the realms. And once I have raided 4 times, and once the 2 of the buried treasure spaces are made over here, that is the end game requirement for this board. Again, the game ends actually when 2 of the 3 end game requirements are met. For my second action, I'm going to move those 2 warriors onto the quarry space to protect my scouts there. I had a feeling that since Lynn took out my warrior, she was planning to attack them. Now, each warrior can protect 2 scouts from being attacked, so having a pair there means the scouts are totally protected, and she would have to fight my warriors and not my scouts if she were to come there to looking for trouble. Then for my final action, I'm going to draw another card, and I'm going to draw one of these Libertatia story cards. It is something I need to save for the end of the game, so I will just put it face down in front of me and reveal it later. Now, at the end of my turn, I will gain my resources. I get 3 gold for my 3 scouts in this mine over here. I get 3 wood for this forest and 3 stone for that quarry. And that's it. That's Lynn's turn. We just noticed, and I probably will have put text up on the screen to note where we made the mistake. We just remembered that you are only able to build orthogonally adjacent to where you have scouts, or orthogonally adjacent to other buildings you control, and Lynn accidentally built diagonal there. She's just going to move it over to be orthogonally adjacent from units she actually had there in Alfheim, and then that's fine. As a minor fix, and we'll just remember it going forward. So, and now we'll just continue.
Can you move my guys onto their gold mine?
Of course I can.
My first action is going to be to build the elven market.
Oh, you're going hardcore in for the elves over there.
It has to be built on a grassland.
Mm-hmm. And what does that do for you?
It gives me 3 victory points.
I will give you your 3 victory points. You have a... you are blue. 1, 2, 3. You are up to 5.
It gives me 1 gold per turn, and I can trade in 2 gold for 1 magic.
Oh, very cool.
So that was my first action. Second action, I'm going to recruit.
Okay. And place 1 scout and 1 warrior in Alfheim?
Yes, and then my third action is I'm going to move.
Okay. So don't forget to get your resources.
Right, I get 3 gold from over there.
Indeed you do.
I get 3 magic from over there.
From over here, yes, very good.
That hasn't moved yet. I get 3 wood from over there.
And don't forget, you've got 2 resource buildings over there.
I got 1 gold, 1 wood, and 1 stone.
Very nice. Well, you're in the money over there. Okay.
I'm also in the magic, apparently.
Yes, you are. You're getting real good with all the magic, for sure. Okay, so it is my turn now.
Oh, yes.
So I'm gonna. I have no one to move on to spaces to start with. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm going to. I just realized I forgot to give myself my 1 victory point for building my pirate ship last turn. I'm just going to fix that right now. I'm going to do, for my first action, I'm going to spend 1 gold and do a recruitment. I'm going to recruit 2 warriors onto my pirate ship here. For my second action, I'm going to send 1 warrior on a pirate ship raid. So I lay him down. He may no longer move off of the pirate ship, though he still counts as a warrior if anyone tries to come there and fight me. And for going on a pirate ship raid, I get 2 gold, 2 victory points, and I get to draw 1 card from any realm. I've decided those Alfheim cards seem really good. I want one of those. You've been having good luck with those. I hope I get something good. I'm going to use it immediately. It is Elf Assistance. It gives me a free wood, and if I had any scouts on forests in Alfheim, they would produce an extra wood this turn, but unfortunately I don't. So let me discard that over there, but I am just going to get a free wood out of the deal. That was my second action. And now for my third action, I'm going to build a building, and I've decided to build a pirate fort. So the pirate fort costs me 4 gold, 2 stone, and 3 wood, which I've got all here, and I have to place the pirate fort on a grassland. So again gotta be adjacent to units I've already got out there. So I'm going to place my pirate fort there. I'm going to place one of my scouts on it for ownership. Now this one is mainly just for points because this has, as you can see there on the little flag. Let me just show that to the camera. This is a big point value building. This one gives me 9 points for that fort. So that will be my space there, and it gives 9 points. It doesn't give resources like some of those lower point value spaces we've been doing. Just gives lots and lots of points. So I'm going to put all my resources in the bank, and I'm going to give myself 9 points. And then I'm going to collect my resources at the end of my turn. So I get 3 gold for this occupied mine here. I get 3 wood for this fully occupied forest there. And I get 3 stone for that quarry there. Would you pass me 3 stone, please? And then that's it for me, and it is Lynn's turn.
Okay, I'm going to put my dudes on their little circles.
Very good.
My first action is I want an Alfheim card.
Very good. Not one you can use?
It's not one I wanted.
Oh well, these things happen.
I'm gonna take another Alfheim card.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm gonna use it. It's the gain 1 wood.
Okay. And you do have guys on a forest over there.
They produce 1 additional wood this turn.
Okay, so they're all going to get in 2 wood apiece. You've got 3 guys over there.
So, and now my third action, I'm going to build an elven castle.
Oh, wow.
That's 7 wood, 1 stone, 1 gold, and 4 magic.
That's a very expensive building, but why don't you explain why it's so expensive?
It gives me 13 victory points.
Yes, it does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and you are now in the lead because that Elven Castle is way more valuable than my pirate fort over here.
Okay, so now I get 3 gold, 3 magic, 3 stone, 3 wood, and then 1 more gold, wood, and stone.
So for my turn, the beginning of my turn, I'm going to send my second warrior here on another pirate raid, which again gets me 2 gold, 2 victory points, and lets me draw 1 card from any realm. So I'm going to draw a Libertatia card. I'm going to play it right away. It is Pirate Thief. Seems a bit redundant, but you know, Pirate Thief. And the card says I get to choose an opponent who has units on a space in Libertatia and take up to 2 gold from that chosen opponent. That would be you. I'm going to rob you for 2 gold.
Oh, that's mean.
Thank you. Then, now that was all my first action. That was actually a pretty eventful action. So for my second action, I'm going to build one of those elfin markets that Lynn already has one of. It's 2 wood, 1 gold, and 1 stone. So I'm going to put all that back in the bank here. And Lynn, would you put that next to Alfheim over there? It's
Here.
let's put it in the middle. Right in the middle, and then here I'm going to pass you one of my scouts to put on it, and that will get me a extra gold every turn. And how many points is that worth?
3.
So I get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. And let's see.
You can also trade in 2 gold for 1 magic.
Oh, that is useful, especially because there are lots of things that require magic that I don't necessarily have. So let's see. I'm going to do that. I'm going to trade 2 gold in for 1 magic. And get 1 magic, and then I'm going to spend 2 stone for my final action, 1 stone, 2 wood, and 1 magic to build one of those cool dwarven mines over there. And I'm going to put it on this mine right here, which gets me 2 more victory points, bringing me into the lead, and will get me 2 gold at the end of every turn. So that is very nice. So that's it for my actions. Those are my 3 actions. And then I'm now going to get my resources. So I get 3 gold from this mine here. So I'm going to put 2 back and take a 5er. Then over here I get 3 wood. So I'm going to take 3 wood from the bank. Then over here I get 2 more gold thanks to my brand new mine. And 3 stone. Would you pass me 3 stone, please? And then thanks to that, in my new elven market, I get 1 more gold. That's all the way over there. And I am all done with my turn. So that's how you play a game of Shifting Realms. You move around, you collect resources, you control spaces, you take cards and play cards, and each of the realms have different end conditions. In the case of these 3 realms, we have Libertatia, which I already explained the end condition of, but I'll do it one more time, which you have to have, 1 player has 4 pirate raids, which is the most any pirate ship can go on. 4 laid down warriors there to represent their 4 pirate raids, and 2 buried treasures have to be built for this tile to have reached its end condition. Now you can still use the tile, but once a second tile reaches its end condition, the game ends. And over here, the dragon has to have moved 6 times. It's already moved twice, so there's 4 more dragon movement cards that would have to come up for this tile to reach its end condition. And the Alfheim end condition is that
all 3 elven castles are built.
Yes, so once all 3 elven castles are built. So once 2 of the end conditions are met, we stop the game, we reveal all the cards that give us bonus points, we check what our final score is, whoever has the most points wins the game. If there is a tie, whoever built the most buildings is the winner. And that's it. That's how you play a game of Shifting Realms. So now we're going to head back over. We're going to talk about how this game plays and how it feels, and we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, so welcome back. That was how you play a game of Shifting Realms. Now,
You have to go over fighting.
oh yes, thank you for reminding me. We didn't actually get to do any fighting because in a 2-player game, it's a little bit discouraged. So the only real difference between a 2-player and a 3 or 4-player game is that in a 3 or 4-player game, if you want to fight a warrior to another warrior, you move one of your warriors at least into an area that it contains other warriors. You without an action declare that you want to attack them. And 1 warrior will kill 1 warrior, but then one of your own warriors has to die too. So it's a 1-for-1 thing. However, in a 2-player game, you have to have 2 warriors in that space to be able to kill 1 warrior, but you still lose 1-for-1. In the case of killing scouts, each warrior in that space, if you attack scouts, can kill 1 scout, and the rest of them will then retreat. But again, you can't attack scouts if you have at least 1 warrior for every 2 scouts there, because they will protect them. So there will be no unguarded scouts. You'll have to attack the warriors first. And of course, if that makes you lose enough warriors that you then can't attack the scouts, you can't. attack the scouts. And that's the way fighting generally works. So, and as it doesn't take actions, you can do a bunch of fights in a row if you move a bunch of warriors into a space. But it seems far more likely to happen in 3 and 4 player games than it does in 2 player games because of the fact that you need to outnumber your opponent's scouts, basically, your opponent's warriors to fight.
In 2-player games, there's pretty much enough resources to go around.
There is, so there's very little fighting over the resources. The other thing is,
you're just like, oh, he's got that gold mine. I'm gonna just go to that gold.
I'll go to the other gold mine. So, and I actually really like it like that. I really like it at 2 players for that matter. Now it's more aggro in 3 and 4 players because then what'll happen is if you move some scouts and warriors into a spot, if you kill some of the scouts there. Any of the scouts that vacate the spot by running away or being killed can now be immediately replaced on that spot with your own scouts, which allows you to immediately collect resources from that space at the end of your turn. So there is more of an encouragement to fight in 3 and 4 players. So that is something we did want to draw attention to. So, okay, so there's a lot to talk about with this game. This game is very interesting. There's lots going on. So let's get the negatives out of the way. So, do you have any negatives you want to draw attention to for Shifting Realms?
I think the scouts are a little small, but I mean, I have tiny hands, and I have problems picking them up.
They're very tiny. The scouts are just little cylinders. They're very tiny. It's a minor gripe, I think. I'm going to agree with you on that gripe, though.
It's not, it doesn't ruin the game.
It doesn't. No, it's very minor. I would have also, them being round can be a little iffy with they can roll off the table.
They roll around.
But again, this feels very minor because as long as you put them all up on standing up on your side of the table and don't put your hand down on them, you should be okay. But you're right, it is a minor gripe to have because they are a little fiddly because of how tiny they are. The meeples for the warriors feel much better because they're much bigger. It might have upped the cost of this game more to have a different variety of meeples for the scouts.
Yeah.
But I think it might have been nice to have that. I agree. But again, you don't sound like that's super angering you in any way. It's a very minor gripe. Okay, so I have a minor gripe, and again, my gripes on this are all very minor. So the artwork on the cards is absolutely gorgeous. However, the artwork on the boards is adequate. So I do feel like the boards, they don't look that amazing out on the table. I would have liked maybe a little more detail on them. But, I mean, that's again, a very minor gripe.
You were covering them up with the tiles.
And the tiles are actually better. The tiles have better artwork on them. Other than that, I don't really, and that's the thing. Also, maybe I would have liked a few more resource cubes. Because it says you can, take extra, because there's no limit to the amount of resources.
Yeah.
So you can take extra tokens to use as resources, but we always come close to running out.
Yeah, we always almost run out in a 2-player game. So, I mean...
Yeah, so in
4-player game, I can't even imagine.
So, so we haven't tried it at 4 players yet. So I would have liked a few more resources in the box. Other than that, though, these are fairly minor gripes. I would say that it almost feels like we're grasping at straws to come up with something negative to talk about in this game, which might give away the fact that we're both going to be pretty positive about this game. So let's talk about some positives. Lynn, let's find some positives with Shifting Realms. What do you think? What's your first positive?
I like the end game requirements.
Oh, for the 3 having to clear out 2 of the realms.
Yes.
And I like that they're all different. Mm-hmm. And the fact, okay, so I'm going to throw out something also about the realms. So I like that having each realm be totally unique in its goals, in its story card deck, in its structures that you can build, in its layout, and being that there are 5 realms and you're only going to ever play with 3 of the 5 of them, makes every game feel different, significantly different, because you have a different combination of buildings out there, which even though you can't build the buildings on other realms, just getting to own different buildings, getting to use cards from different decks in combination with each other makes it feel like a different game each time. Mm-hmm. So that's really awesome. So your turn. What else do you like about Shifting Realms?
I do like the...
You're having trouble thinking of the word. What are you trying to say?
The different boards, like what you said, basically.
Oh, so you're just agreeing with? But what about some? Oh, go
You
ahead.
get different. They get a different layout each time.
Okay, so what else? Let's get a different positive though.
I really like the worker placement.
It's weird because it's not like it does feel kind of like worker placement, but it's like a different sort of worker placement. Like you don't just take a guy from off the board and put him on something, and either then get something.
He has to stay there,
Yeah,
otherwise you lose it.
yeah, and he actually has to. He has movement distance. He has to walk around the map
Yeah.
and get to his space, and then stay there for the beginning of next turn when he gets on the space. So it does. I agree with you that it does feel like the idea definitely came from worker placement, but I like that they did it because this is also supposed to feel like these characters are sort of adventuring around at your behest. It feels like they, you can't just be like, boom, you're over there. No, you start from the town hall and you have to walk over there. So it takes you time, which is really cool. I also, I want to throw out, I really like that there's a feeling of engine building in here as you slowly build the buildings. The buildings that are worth less victory points will usually give you some kind of benefit in addition to those small amount of victory points, whereas the more valuable buildings will not give you a benefit but will just be worth a lot of points. So like in our game, we were playing with both the elf castles and the dwarven fortresses, which were worth a ton of victory points, but then they were much cheaper. There was the markets, there was the wharf, and there was the dwarven mine, all of which gave you resources every turn without having to have scouts on it. And I like how there's this interesting dynamic from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, where early on you've got tons of scouts and you got more than you know what to do with, and you're like, let me throw 3 scouts over here to get me wood, and let me throw 3 scouts over there to get me stone. And then towards the end of the game, because you always have to put one of the scouts on every building you make, as you start to run out, you start to be like, oh my god, where am I taking the scout from? Because you have to, when you run out of scouts, you have to start pulling them off the board to put them on the new buildings. And I think that's kind of interesting because of the fact that they limited your number of scouts. I think that's pretty brilliant. And
Well, I always end up with one resource just having like a ton of it
yeah,
for no reason that I can even recall.
because you started out getting all that resource, but then didn't build anything with it.
Yeah, so I always usually just take them from whatever is giving me that.
Yeah, whichever has the too much of that
I think the
resource.
first game it was like wood. I think
What was it in this one? Was it stone?
it was magic. I had like all this magic.
Yeah, but magic is one that you can never have too much of because you can always trade in 3 for any resource, which is really cool. And I love, so there's some significant differences between all the boards. We should talk about some of them because they're really cool. So I love the pirate raids are really nice because you get it gives you another use for your warriors. You put the warriors on there, you can lay them down, you get money, you get points, and you get a free card. And that's pretty awesome. The elf area had a lot of resource buildings, and it also what else? Oh, they had the one building that allowed you to trade in gold for magic, which was a really cool building. The dwarves have the dragon, which can move around and stomp on people. But then there's also, which we didn't get to show during the tutorial because nobody built one, there's a dwarf tunnel thing, which allows you to quickly move someone from anywhere on the entire map to anywhere else on the map as long as there are no enemies in that space, which that's really cool. You get to do it doesn't cost you an action, it's just once per turn. And it's either a scout or a warrior, your choice. The 2 tiles we weren't using this time were the priest realm and the orc realm. The orc realm has the troll king, which you got to throw 2 at a time warriors at to fight him. And that realm's end game condition is when he runs out of tiles in the troll boss, the troll king area. That is his end condition. But each one of those tiles will give you victory points, and then it will also give you resources, usually 1 or 2 resources every turn from then on for the rest of the game, which is really cool. And the priest realm is just you run out of cards, right?
Yeah, you run out of cards in the story deck is
Right.
the end game condition.
And it had some interesting, also it had some good resource buildings and some also very valuable buildings too. It had some, I think it has one of the more valuable buildings you can make that just gives you a lot of points. So yeah, this is a really cool game. You've got resource management. You've got a little bit of like almost engine building with building all of the the buildings that then give you resources. You've got kind of like worker
I-
placement.
Yeah, I would also. I don't. Is meeple management a thing? Because you have to manage your meeples on the board when you build more buildings.
You have to manage your meeples. I think it's a bit of resource management too.
Okay.
They're like a human resource. HR. So, I mean, it feels like that. It's more of the resource management a little bit. You do, because you are limited to your number of warriors and scouts. That is a thing. So there's a lot in here. And they, you know what? So it's like nothing in here is super unique, but but like, you can be like, well, I've seen worker placement, I've seen engine building, but it's unique in the way that they present it here. Like, the way they do worker placement in this, I've never seen another game that does worker placement like how this does the worker placement. It's pretty interesting. And the minor gripes we talked about before were very minor compared to how awesome this is. So, okay. Do you have anything else, first off, do you have anything else you want to talk about in regard to Shifting Realms?
No.
You think we covered it pretty well? All right, so, big question. Do you want to go first or second on rating this?
I'll go second.
You're going to go second. So you think you might be probably going to be higher?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea what I'm going to be.
Oh. I'm curious
I just
now.
want to know. I want to know where you're at before I say.
It's not going to adjust your score, though, is it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well,
I just don't feel like going first.
that's fine. Okay. So, I really like this game. I think this game is really fun. I was quite surprised by how awesome this was, because the box art is okay, but it doesn't really tell you anything, and the back of the box looks a little bit bland. So I wasn't really sure what to expect, and then I wound up really loving this game, which is why I'm going to give Shifting Realms an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this game a lot. If anything you saw looks like fun to you, trust me, it is fun. This game is actually really enjoyable. And I thoroughly recommend this game to everyone. Where are you at?
But not, if you're under 10, obviously. So not everyone. I'm going to give it... Well, I'm going to give it the 2-player version an 8.
Okay. So you're a little less on the...
If I had to rate a 3 and up player game, it would probably be a 7.
But you like it best of 2 players,
Yes.
and at 2 players you're giving this an 8.
Yes.
So that's 16 and a half stars from us here at the board. That's really high. That's 2 thumbs way up from us. We're both really positive on Shifting Realms. 8 stars from Lynn, 8.5 stars from me. Yeah, we really like Shifting Realms. So I guess here's the thing. Generally speaking, if you like to board game and you like middleweight games in general, this is a great game. There's a lot in here. There's a lot to do and a lot of options, a lot of variety. And would you say that we can comfortably recommend this to just about anybody if you thought anything sounded interesting in this review?
Yeah.
So check this out. Check out Shifting Realms. Again, by Soaring Rhino. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to put them in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this review and tutorial video and you'd like to see us do more like it in the future, be sure to give this video a like, share it on all forms of social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Kaptain. That's Kaptain spelled with a K on YouTube. And if you're in a position to and would like to help out the channel, you could join my Patreon. Link in the description below, or you can buy some of our cool gamer merch that we have over at our Teespring store. We have t-shirts and mugs and even a sticker, and we have most of copies of most of that on its way to our house now, so that hopefully we'll be able to show you some of it in the future. And until next time, game on.